Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. I have a very interesting review and kind of a longer impression of a knife that I've had in my collection for a while, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. This is the Kershaw Livewire, as you can see right here. This is an OTF made in the USA. It's in collaboration with Hogue, I believe, helped them make this. It is a very thin, if you will, OTF. Has a deployment actuation button right here on one side, has a very unique clip, as you can see right here. I'm not sure who designed this, but I do know it's a Kershaw knife, but Hogue was in collaboration with them, and it would be around the size of like a Guardian Tactical Recon 35. It would be around that size. I'm not really much into the Microtechs or to the Hairtech knives. I'm not really into the Axial knives, so this would be more of my style of knife that I like. I like the simplicity, kind of blacked out, kind of clean looking sort of knife. And you know what? If you're into the other OTFs, that's totally cool. This is just my cup of tea, right? So I'm drawn to this. This is something that appeals to me. Doesn't mean that the other ones aren't great knives. They just don't appeal to me, right? And we all have different tastes, and there's so many choices out there. You can go for whatever you'd like. So in this case, this is the one. Now, let me talk a little bit about the materials and the handle, the materials, the blade, and everything. So this is aluminum frame. It's got a unique design that fits really well into your hand. It's aluminum handle. This little clip doesn't dig in. It's no hot spots. Fits really well into your handle. It's reversible, so you can have it for a lefty hand. It can go right over here really, really nicely. And this actuation button works really well. It's not super aggressive, but works really well in actuating and opening the blade and closing the blade. So that's really nice. It is blacked out, Cerakoted, which is really nice. Will, at some point with use, probably expose some of the aluminum, I'm sure. Likewise with the clip, you know, it's a little steel clip. The clip works really well. You would think with this unique shape, does that work? No, it does. It works really well. It's a full deep carry clip, and the way it's in there, it tucks in there really nicely. I was very surprised by that. The blade in this case is a, see if we can see it. Is it over here? Yeah, here we are. It is, yeah, there it is. So it's CPM 20CV. I don't know if you can see that, CPM 20CV. That is their blade design. And this particular serial number is 1123, right? And this right here is a Kershaw Auto. And I think that little symbol right there is the Kershaw Auto symbol. I'm not sure, but USA made, obviously, with Kai is the overarching company for Kershaw, which is also zero tolerance, right? So they're all part of the same company. But this right here is really, really nice. This actuation button is so smooth, and it's not hard like Microtech, Hairtech, and Axial. I've noticed when they were really difficult and hard to deploy. This is not. It's very smooth, very easy to close and open. You know, so open and then close. Very, very, very smooth, and it's almost like, you know, Guardian Tactical, they get away with, you know, not get away, they have a very unique design. They have a little plate, steel plate, and that makes it very smooth for the actuation. This is like that without the plate in there. I don't know how they do that, but it's really nice. Locks up relatively solid, all OTFs except for the really, really expensive, I don't know which one it is, the one that's like $2,000, and the deadlock, I think it's called. It locks up, but this, it's always gonna have some play, but the play is minimal compared to the other ones. Very, very nice and solid in there. And that grip is really great. Gives you a good grip to contour and hold on to. You're not gonna slide off of that. It is a single-sided blade, very thin edge, but nice sharp edge. Works really, really well with a very thin tip. So this is great for poking into boxes, letters, envelopes. This is great for opening letters especially. I'm gonna tell you, I enjoy that. So that's really, really nice. And, you know, very satisfying. You can hear that. So let me see if I can get close to my lapel mic here. So very satisfying, right? And it's probably going to be super loud when you hear that. I don't know if it's going to blow up the audio, but it's really nice. Everything back here, it just fits really, really well. It's got some jimping everywhere, some you know, milling that just makes it really nice in shape and solid to hold in your hand. And it works really well in the left hand as well. It makes it very ambidextrous. And like I said, this is absolutely reversible for you lefties. So there's no reason for you not to use this as a left-handed OTF as well, right? So I like that. I like the blade material. I like the actuation. It's very solid. I have had no failures on this. Really great. And so let's talk about the lock and how it closes. So this is obviously an OTF. It's out the front, automatic, which means that there's there's mechanism in here where you actually have to increase the pressure, and then once you go past the threshold of that pressure, it kind of goes over a point, and then it will pull the blade out and it locks it in place. So it's completely locked in place. Likewise, you go back and you meet that threshold, and then it'll pull the blade back. Now, I'm not going to do it here because it's a very thin tip, and I don't want to damage my knife and have to regrind it. But if you open it like this, with this blade, you're definitely going to poke, but it won't go through my hand. It's gonna, if I put paper or something, it's not going to go through. It'll just go off the track, and you pull it out, you lock it back on track, and you close it again. I have no reason to show that on such a nice knife, but I can tell you that's how it works. I don't have a cheap, throwaway OTF to show you that with, and I don't want to do it with this nice OTF. And if you want to see that, there's plenty of other videos out there that can show you that. This is just, it's my OTF, and I'd like to keep it, in good shape, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm sorry if you were looking forward to seeing that. I'm not going to show that with this one, at least not intentionally, right? But that's that. What else? Everything else, yeah, so you can see this little button right here. You can see that like stair stepping going up. It's not super aggressive and sharp. It's got enough texture that your hand can get on there and you can hold it well, but it's not going to like shred your thumb or anything in your skin. So that's really, really nice. All right, so I don't review OTFs a lot. I have two only, so I'll go ahead and do what I normally do with a frame lock or a knife. I'll go ahead and weigh it. So this one here is 3.05, 3.06 ounces. So it's about 3-ounce knife. That's pretty good. Let's deploy the blade and let's look at the actual length. All right, so we're looking at a blade. Cutting length is 3 1/4. Yeah, right, 3 1/4. It's definitely, the ratios are amazing, right? So 3 inches for the weight. It's definitely within those perfect ratios. It's even better than that, right? From tip to the very back, you're looking at just a little over 3 1/4. Yeah, definitely just a little over 3 1/4. Total handle length is going to be 4.5 inches. So definitely for extra large, double extra large hands will definitely fit this very comfortably. I have tons of room. If you have extra double X, maybe even triple X, you'll be fine with this one. Definitely give you plenty of room on that. And let's see, can we hold that there so we can do the blade stock thickness? Because this is relatively thin. Let's see how thick we are. Yeah, so we're I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can get that up here. I'll go at the base over here. So at the base right here at the blade, we're 0.12, 120, 121, 107 inch, right? But if you get out here, after the swedge and everything, we're at 0.0956. So it's 98 hundredths of an inch. So it's less than 1/10 of an inch. It is relatively thin, and you can see that out here. It's really, really thin. And it has a nice swedge, so it's definitely going to be a cutter or slicer. That swedge will allow you to navigate those turns. So this part up here will allow you to kind of do the turn. It's not this flat edge that's pushing against you trying to turn, so it'll allow you to do that, which is really, really nice. And again, like I said, it comes to a really thin edge. The edge here was very consistent, I thought. The tip came out a little, one side is just a little bit longer than the other, just a little bit, but you can hardly notice that. So that's really nice. All right, so those are now knife category. This is definitely in the regular range, between $100 and $250. I think this was $237, and I'm sure if you find some of these places where you can get discounts, you could probably get it for even less. But $237, $238, that's a really good price for an OTF of this size, this quality, with this strength of deployment and actuation. It's one of the best deals out there. I really, really like this. It's fantastic, right? So, and the purpose, what is this for? And so people think, oh, purpose, that's got to be like for something nefarious. That's not. This is just like any other knife. I have a ProTech TR3, which is an automatic knife. It's an out the side automatic knife. This is an automatic knife. It's just a means of opening and closing. Matter of fact, in some states where they might even make OTFs illegal, they allow them to be legal for people with only one hand, because it's a way that they can open and close their knives if they're missing a hand, right? In fact, I would argue and believe the argument that I've heard some other YouTubers have made, and specifically I know Metal Complex says this, that you know, it's one of the more safer tools because you can open and you can close it, and when you close it, the blade is out of the way. It's completely out of the way, and it's not anywhere to harm anybody. And to actuate that blade takes a significant amount of force. A young child's not going to be able to come up and usually typically open that. And it's going to take a larger hand to be able to get in there to do that. And this blade's not going to go through anything that it pokes. It will stop and go off its track, right? So there's that. So again, that would be the purpose, I believe, of this knife. It's just an EDC knife. You can cut, what I do is I cut envelopes, boxes, I cut packaging, cat litter, cat food, dog food, packaging like cases of water. I cut the plastic off. That's what I've used this for. And really, it's great for all of that. Very fantastic, very great to carry, and very convenient. You know, I don't think of it as, you know, anything could be used nefariously, right? Anything could be used in a bad way if you wanted to, and this would be no different than that. And but as far as a tool, it works great. It's a great tool. It opens and closes really comfortably. In Texas, these are completely legal. There's no restrictions whatsoever on these. In many other states, there's not. Some states they have. California, I think it has to be less than 2 inches. So, you know, definitely not California legal, obviously, right? But the purpose of it is just regular EDC as a knife. Definitely works. Ergos and feel. So the ergos and feel in this one is fantastic. It's really great. The ergos is very comfortable. Everything is chamfered. Everything is rounded on the edges. Very comfortable. I don't feel any hot spots. None of those corners are digging in. When I hold and deploy it and use the knife, it's very comfortable to use. Very comfortable. Up here, you can even see that little contour right there. My thumb fits in there. Great for a push cut. Works great, closes very comfortably. Both right and left-handed is really nice. The clip doesn't dig in. It has just a little bit of a lip to get over everything, but it doesn't dig into anywhere. Very, very deep carry. You can see that goes all the way deep for carry. So the handle design, to me, with all this kind of milling, makes it very comfortable, very secure to hold in your hand. The deployment is fantastic, especially with the button here to actuate it. Is just really phenomenally well designed. The closing is exactly the same, very comfortable, works really, really well. The fidget factor, well, it's an OTF, so what can I say? It's super fidgety. It's a lot of fun. So I enjoyed this. It's one of those knives that makes a lot of noise that I get in a lot of trouble with when I use this because I make too much noise. So definitely you have to consider that, but it's a lot of fun to carry. It's a lot of fun to fidget with. Who doesn't like to fidget with an OTF, right? My overall thoughts, I like it. I like it a lot. It's one of my only 2 OTFs that I have in my collection, and I'll keep in my collection. I like the simplicity, the form, the factor, the design, the quality. It's just outstanding. I will say, is it recommended? Absolutely. It's one of my recommended knives. And it's one of my only 2 recommended OTFs so far in my knife journey that I really like and I have in my collection. I really like this and the Recon 035 by Guardian Tactical. Those are my 2 favorite recommended knives. I would definitely put this in my recommended list and recommended you check this out. It's a great value, great deal for the money. If OTFs are legal, definitely consider this for you. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your questions. If you have any ideas for future reviews, any things you'd like to see me cover, please make those comments down below. I'd love to hear them. I definitely try to interact with everybody and respond. Also, if you found this video and this content fun, interesting, and worthwhile, would you please consider hitting the like button on the video? And then, if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to my channel for more content? And if you've already subscribed, maybe hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content that I'll be releasing. And if you've done all that, maybe consider checking me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. That's robs_nerdy_knives. I sure appreciate you watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.